everybody, this is Nate with another Backcountry beer review. Today I'm in Great Sand Dunes National Park. I'm actually hiking to the what is listed as the highest elevation dune in the park. There's really no official list for that sort of thing, and obviously dunes are ever changing, so I'm just going to the point that's marked at it. I'm in a little bowl right now, just to kind of get it out of the wind and film this intro section. But as you can see, we're getting our first real fall weather of the year. Some rain, some snow in the high country, clouds obscuring the beautiful mountain peaks behind me, but I think that you get the idea that this is very beautiful, a very surreal landscape. I'm very grateful to be here. The beer I'm reviewing today is very seasonally appropriate. I plan on this beer to air on November 6th. And you might be asking yourself, well, what's so special about November 6th? Well, as you might be able to tell, one of my alma maters, it's probably not the correct Latin plural, but anyway, one of my alma maters is the University of New Mexico. And on November 6th, that is the University of New Mexico's homecoming. And I've chosen a very special beer to review for UNM's homecoming, and it's the Lobo IPA by Rio Bravo Brewing Company in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I've already reviewed a Rio Bravo beer before. I think it was episode 14, their New Mexico Pinon Coffee Porter. They're a great brewery, still never been, but all their beer is fantastic. As I said, the name of this beer is Lobo IPA. Now, University of New Mexico, their mascot is the Lobos, and I didn't realize until after I bought it, but this beer actually used to be branded as the Lobo Louis IPA, and so I can only assume that the licensing agreement with the university officially wore out, but nonetheless, it's a very seasonally appropriate beer and very appropriate for the day, which is UNM's homecoming, as I said. So this is a session IPA. That means it's only 4.5% alcohol by volume. There's nothing really much on the can, but those of you who have been following this series since the beginning know that at the beginning I was reviewing a lot of IPAs. I think episode 20 was the last IPA I reviewed, and at that point I had reviewed 6 IPAs. Since then, I've reviewed none. So it's a little fun to get back to my roots, so to say, and try an IPA. I'm gonna go to the top of the dune, and then we'll open this up if the weather cooperates. It is time for a sip. It might just be me, but pretty much every session IPA I have reminds me of the soda Squirt, the grapefruit soda, because it's very light on the malt flavor, but they want to give you the hops to let you know that it's an IPA. I'm always getting this citrusy grapefruit orange peel note with session IPAs, and I definitely get it with this one. It's very nice. It's actually really refreshing. Maybe not the best beer for a setting like this where my hands, now that I'm not climbing up a dune anymore, my hands are kind of starting to freeze up and it's quite cold here. I actually get a little bit of herbs here. Maybe a little bit of rosemary, a little bit of thyme. It's definitely not too intense, but it's just sort of like floating around there with the citrus notes. Speaking of citrus notes, I'm definitely getting a little bit of lemon pith. It's not a terribly bitter beer. I don't know what the IBUs are. 40 IBUs, yes, it's not a terribly bitter beer. But the bitterness that does come through, it's like, lemon pith. So really, I'm not getting a whole lot of malty notes with this, which I really don't expect. It is a session IPA. I rarely find that session IPAs are terribly full on the malty flavors. This is a tailgate beer, for sure. Perfect for UNM's homecoming. This is a beer that you could put it in your cups while you're playing beer pong, and it's something a little different than stale Coors Light. As a fan of stale Coors Light, this would be a nice way to change things up. Another really good beer from Rio Bravo. They have yet to disappoint me. In addition to this being a special episode that's celebrating University of New Mexico's homecoming, this is also the 1-year anniversary, roughly, of the first Backcountry beer reviews that I ever did. So I don't have anything specific planned to celebrate it, but what I do want to do is say thank you to anybody who's watching. These reviews are a ton of fun. It gives me an excuse to hang out on top of a mountain or somewhere beautiful and enjoy the scenery, drink a beer, and hang out with you guys. And I just want to say, if you guys have any recommendations or any requests, please let me know. I'd love to take them. I would say the only thing I ask of you is that I would prefer it comes in a can, just it makes it a lot easier to hike somewhere with it. And 2, obviously, if it's not available near Santa Fe, New Mexico, it'll be a little bit tough for me to find. That's it from me. Thanks for watching. Cheers to 1 year of Backcountry beer review, and cheers to the Lobos. Woof woof. Cheers, and have a Backcountry beer for me. backcountry beer for me.